However, back with the Barclays League, things seem to be going more Charlton's way. The 12th of October saw us playing at home to Bristol Rovers. With the commentary, here's Steve Dixon.
Welcome back to Upton Park for this Barclays League second division fixture between Charlton Athletic and Bristol Rovers. Let's run through the two teams, starting with, of course, the Charlton side. And in goal, as always, Bob Boulder. At 2, Darren Pitcher. 3 is Scott Minto. Andy Peake, the captain, at 4. Simon Webster is 5. Steve Gatting at 6. At 7, back from injury, Robert Lee. At number 8, it's John Bumstead. At 9, Carl Leaburn, also returning from injury. At 10, it's Gary Nelson. And at 11, it's Alex Dyer. The two Charlton substitutes, Anthony Barness at 12 and Paul Bacon at 14. Let's look now at the Bristol Rovers side. In goal, Brian Parkin. At 2, Ian Alexander. 3 is Jeff Twentyman. 4, Steve Yates. 5 is Steve Cross. 6, Justin Skinner. 7, David Mehew. 8 is Andy Reece. 9 is Marcus Stewart. 10 is Marcus Browning. And 11, Tony Pounder. The two Rovers substitutes, Billy Clark at 12 and Phil Purnell at 14. And referee Ray Shepherd gets us underway here at Upton Park, and immediately it's swept out to Carl Leaburn. And here's Darren Pitcher for Charlton. High ball into the box, looking for Gary Nelson. Will it drop for Alex Dyer? It will. Dyer the shot. Comes out now to Andy Peake. Darren Pitcher making space on the right-hand side. Again, a deep cross in. And away by Twentyman. And here's Browning for Rovers. Tackle from Peake. And now Robert Lee, but that will be a throw-in for Bristol Rovers. Floated towards the back post. Nelson with the header away. Now there's a chance for Browning across the face of the goal. And Rovers there, very nearly taking the lead. Charlton looked to the linesman in vain on this near side. There was no flag, but now Robert Lee for Charlton, bringing the ball away through midfield. Out on the left-hand side, Alex Dyer. Scott Minto on the overlap. Gary Nelson now peeling off on the inside. The ball is out to Scott Minto. The chance to cross. And away by Mehew. Now Minto again for Charlton. The shot comes in, and that will be easy for Brian Parkin. And Charlton not afraid to send players forward at this early stage in the game. It'll be Steve Gatting aiming towards Carl Leaburn, headed across the goal towards Dyer, but Ian Alexander did very well indeed there for Bristol Rovers. The cross comes in from Pounder. Webster with a header, only as far as Reece. Webster blocks again, and Darren Pitcher completes the clearance. Leaburn down to Peake, and Peake a first time pass to Gary Nelson. Nelson's got in front of Yates now. Robert Lee backing up. Carl Leaburn in the centre. Nelson needs some help. Finds it with Robert Lee. Lee with the shot. Comfortably held by Brian Parkin. And that's fallen comfortably for Andy Peake. And now Robert Lee. Nelson's going away to the right. Now Lee will find him. Back to Darren Pitcher. Leaburn forward, bumps it forward. Alex Dyer far post. Andy Peake will pick this one up and spread it wide to Alex Dyer left hand side. Mehew to close him down. Dyer cuts inside on his right foot. In towards Bumstead. It goes across the face of the goal. And Yates had to be there in front of Gary Nelson. And now Gatting with a chance to get it away for Charlton. Nice pass there to Robert Lee. And Carl Leaburn making ground through the middle. Robert Lee twisting and turning. And out it goes to Nelson right hand side. Darren Pitcher backing him up. Nelson opts to cross. Leaburn peels away in the centre. Gets the header down. Here's Leaburn. Bumstead spreads the ball wide to Minto. Alex Dyer left hand side. Forward for Robert Lee. Now Lee, what can he do up against Reece and Alexander? The cross comes in. And the header behind from Steve Yates. And what a good header it was indeed. Under pressure from Leaburn. And Charlton forcing another corner. And he picked the short corner to Robert Lee. Back again to Peake. Peake drives the cross into the far post. Webster gets up. The cross comes in. Well held by Parkin. as both Leaburn and Gatting were waiting for any sign of a fumble from the goalkeeper. But it's a good throw out now, and it's Steve Cross, far side of the field, in towards Stewart. The layoff for Pounder. Mehew is on the right hand side. The shot comes in from Pounder, and that wasn't very far away at all from Tony Pounder. Fine strike, right footed by the Rovers number 11. Alexander forward, and now Mehew again, and that's forward for Browning, and well saved by Bob Boulder. And the flag stayed down again on this near side. The Charlton defenders looked across at the linesman, but Marcus Browning was very nearly in on goal, and Charlton are going to have to be aware of this offside trap, unless they might come unstuck here this afternoon. Lee has got Bumstead backing him up. Here is John Bumstead. In towards Nelson. The flick on towards Leaburn. What can Leaburn do? The overhead kick just eluded Alex Dyer and just wide of the far post. And now the chance for Carl Leaburn. Oh, that's a great lob by Leaburn, and however, very close indeed from Carl Leaburn. But quick thinking from the Charlton centre forward as the ball drops onto his left foot. A fine lob just over the bar, and that would have been a quite spectacular opener for Charlton. Lee hooks it on. Nelson, good touch by Gary Nelson, and Charlton have got a good situation coming here. Now Leaburn through for Charlton. Can Leaburn get in there for Charlton? Leaburn with a chance. Oh, into the side netting. And quite a few people in the west stand here at Upton Park thought that Leaburn had opened the scoring, but in fact it was wide of the post and into the side netting. But that's the best chance of the match so far. Scott Minto left hand side. Lee needs to find him quickly, and does. And now Charlton breaking forward in numbers, but still Rovers have got a lot of men back. Minto cuts inside and tried to return the ball to Robert Lee, but Alexander was wise to it, and they worked that rather well, Rovers. Bumstead, good tackle. But now Rovers have a man spare on the far side, and it's Steve Cross. Rather, it's Pounder. It's Cross in support. Pounder cuts inside, Darren Pitcher, room for the shot. Took a deflection, and Mehew missing an open goal from what could only have been about 6 or 7 yards. And that is a real let-off for Charlton. Gatting with a header away. Alex Dyer now with a chance to advance from centre field. Here's Robert Lee on the right-hand side. Dyer into the space. Dyer still looking, possibly. Lee going, finds Dyer. Darren Pitcher now. Lee goes down the line. Here is Robert Lee. 2 players on him. One is Cross, one is Pounder. Lee goes past them both. The shot comes in straight at the goalkeeper. Gatting to Webster. Darren Pitcher peels away to the right hand side. Here he is. Darren Pitcher makes the ground now. Darren Pitcher, 30 yards he's gone. Here's Nelson. Nelson looking for Alex Dyer at the far post. Scott Minto. We're going to have to work to keep that in, but he does. Minto now looking for Nelson. Nelson trying to turn. Yates is right with him. Nelson still trying to turn. Trying to free Minto. Mehew closing him down. But look at Minto there. Look at Minto showing good control on the ball, but still Charlton unable to fashion an opening. Gatting now for Charlton. Looking, Darren Pitcher is on the far side. That will drift harmlessly through towards Brian Parkin. And the Charlton fans on the North Bank behind Parkin's goal growing somewhat restless at their team's inability to break down the Rovers' defence. This is Steve Cross for Rovers, looking for Browning. Skinner. Tackled by Peake, but Skinner rides it. And now Justin Skinner trying to find possibly Browning. The ball out to Tony Pounder on the left-hand side. Pounder taking on Darren Pitcher. Can he get to the byline? The chance now for Browning. The shot comes in. Great save by Boulder. Great save again by Boulder. And a fine save by Boulder. Unbelievable goalkeeping. Point blank saves on 3 occasions by Bob Boulder. And how Rovers didn't take the lead there through first Browning and then Stewart. Only they will know. Leaburn trying to get up. Reece gets in, and Alexander hacks it clear. Forward from Minto, and again from Peake. Nelson hooks it on towards Leaburn. Now Leaburn with a chance for Charlton. Carl Leaburn, great save by Parkin. But that's more like it from Charlton. That's what the fans want to see. And Leaburn turned very well there in the area and brought the best out of Brian Parkin. Andy Peake with the corner. Webster with the flick. Away from right under Steve Gatting's nose. And this is going to have to go all the way back to Bob Boulder. And that's a shame. Now pitcher aiming for Leaburn. Leaburn with a great flick on. Could this fall for Alex Dyer? No, Parkin will be there first. I wonder if Steve Britt and Alan Curbishley are contemplating a change. Possibly Anthony Barness could come on at left back and Scott Minto could be pushed further forward. But here's Robert Lee now on the right hand side. If he can get it under control, there's a chance for the cross. The cross comes in. There's Leaburn! It's there! Carl Leaburn scores again for Charlton. And Charlton lead 1-0 here at Upton Park. And a fine centre forward's goal at the far post from Carl Leaburn. And Leaburn celebrates with the Charlton fans on the North Bank. That was a superb centre forward's goal. A great cross by Robert Lee and a superb header at the far post from Carl Leaburn. 71 minutes gone, Charlton 1, Bristol Rovers 0. That's Leaburn's 5th goal of the campaign so far. But Rovers attacking on the left-hand side with Browning. Browning, the shot cannoned off Webster. There's a chance at the far post, but Scott Minto stepped in and conceded the corner, and Charlton will have to be tight at the back now for the next couple of minutes because Rovers will undoubtedly look to get back into the game at the earliest opportunity. Andy Reece will take the corner, far side. Swung in towards Twentyman. Webster away. No, yes indeed, Webster away. And now again from Pounder, the ball in the area. Gatting tries to get it away. Dyer hacks it clear. Alexander with a drive. It'll all the way through across the face of the goal. And the Charlton defenders stood and watched, as indeed did the Bristol Rovers forwards. And Leaburn is obviously aiming long. And look at the distance on that throw. Webster gets up. It's in from Lee. The chance off the line at the far post from Ian Alexander. And if only Robert Lee could have connected, I'm sure Charlton would have had a 2-goal cushion. As it is, Darren Pitcher with the throw in towards Lee, trying to turn away from Steve Cross. Nelson with the call, and Nelson trying to turn away from Yates. Good tackle coming in from the Rovers captain. But again, Charlton have a throw in, and for Charlton, the throw in is almost as good as a corner when it's Carl Leaburn taking that throw in. Webster again, I'm sure, will be the target. Webster, here he comes, gets up at the near post, the flick on, not quite. And Brian Parkin off his line to collect. Cross comes in. Gatting to clear, needed to get the ball away. A chance for Purnell. Across the face of the goal. And again, driven towards Marcus Browning. Here's Purnell. Backing him up is Alexander. This will fall for Robert Lee, and again Charlton have a chance to break. Carl Leaburn away on the right-hand side. Alex Dyer through the middle. Alex Dyer with a chance for Charlton. One-on-one Alex Dyer. He can wrap it up here. He goes round the goalkeeper, but Alex Dyer wastes that chance for Charlton, and he could really have wrapped the game up. But Charlton could still wrap it up now, because Darren Pitcher's got a chance to get the cross in. Darren Pitcher goes one way, checks back on his right foot, wants to try and get it over. Tackle comes in. We've had a minute of injury time. Surely there can't be a great deal more left on referee Ray Shepherd's watch. Downfield from Boulder. Forward from Cross. Forward now from Mehew. Pitcher gets the header away. Purnell now in midfield for Rovers. Out to Pounder. Away by Bumstead to Lee. Lee away from one challenge. Nelson peeling off the right-hand side. Robert Lee going past one. Now the ball for Gary Nelson. Now will Nelson go for the corner flag? No, he'll go for goal. Comes inside, checks back on his left foot. Gets the cross over to the far post. But Carl Leaburn didn't read what Gary Nelson was trying to do. 2 minutes of injury time so far we've played. And this will be Rovers' last chance to get the ball forward, I'm sure. Parkin with a goal kick. Webster, a good header away. And there it is. The final whistle goes here at Upton Park. It's all over. Charlton picking up 3 valuable points here at Upton Park this afternoon, courtesy of Carl Leaburn's 5th goal of the season. Not a classic by any manner of means, but 3 precious points for Charlton. The goal on 71 minutes across from Robert Lee, and a fine centre-forward's header at the far post from Carl Leaburn. The final score here at Upton Park as the Charlton players go across to the Charlton fans to applaud them for their support. It's Charlton Athletic 1, Bristol Rovers 0.
After the match, Steve Dixon spoke to Scott Minto about Charlton's performance against Rovers.
Scott, not a classic by any manner of means, but an important result.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were seventh in the table beforehand, so we knew that the result was the main thing, and fortunately we got that.
Of course, we're 5th now, so all the lads must be pleased.
Yeah, we're delighted. I mean, you know, we wouldn't have believed that we'd be there at the beginning of the season, so we're absolutely, you know, delighted at where we are now.
And another goal for Carl as well.
Yeah, he's playing very well. I mean, you know, obviously he's very tall, so if we can play the balls up to him in the air, then it benefits him, and we did that today, and he scored from a good cross.
What about your own situation, because you've been out for injury for a couple of games?
Yeah, I had a hamstring injury. I came in against Port Vale and was out again for another couple of weeks, but hopefully it stood up well today, so hopefully it'll be alright from now on.
You're still wearing the strapping though, is that right?
Yeah, well, Simon Webster had the same thing right at the beginning of the season, and he said that for the next few games he felt it as well. So I'm going to do that and wear the strapping as well.
So how do you fancy our chances against Brighton next week?
Oh, I don't see why we can't get a win quite easily and hopefully play better than we did today.
Player coach Steve Gritt also shared his thoughts on the game.
Now, what's the situation with the injuries? Because we had almost a full side out today, I thought.
Yes, well, we had to leave a lot of the lads out on Wednesday because they weren't quite ready, and we couldn't afford to risk them, knowing that we would have them fit more or less for today. And they've all come in the side, done exceptionally well. Unfortunately, Carlos took another knock on the same leg, so he might be having a treatment again next week. But the rest of them came through it. Colin Walsh should be fit, hopefully in about a week's time. And it won't be long now, by the looks of it, before we've got a fully fit squad.
Another good goal from Carl as well this afternoon.
Yes. I think overall Carlo did well today. Considering it was his first game back for a couple of weeks, he did very well. I think he can only get better.
Brighton next week, tough game?
Yes, another tough game. They'll come here looking for a win. We'll obviously be looking for another win. But it sets us up nicely for that game anyway. At least we've got a week off midweek, so the lads that are injured do get a little bit of a rest, and it gives us a chance to do some work with the lads.
It has been a tough schedule. I mean, you've played every midweek for about the last 6 weeks, haven't you?
I believe we've played in the first 2 months of the season. Somebody said to me we've played 16 games, which is it's a lot of games to play early in the season. But to be fair, the lads have come through it well. The ones that have come into the side for the injuries have done well, and keep your fingers crossed, it's looking good for the future.
Did you obviously envisage when you took over that we'd be fifth in the table after 3 months?
You hope. You put your hand on your heart and you hope that you'll be in that situation. It's certainly nice to be there, but there's a long way to go yet, and we're not certainly going to get carried away at the moment.